Every haunted place has a story with a dark past. This is Ghost Encounters Podcast. Welcome back, all you spooky people, to the Ghost Encounters Podcast. I am paranormal investigator Justin Torok.
And I'm Jordan, the group scientist.
I'm Hannah, your death-obsessed bestie.
Before we get started, we actually have even more birthday announcements. Jordan.
My friend from work, Val, she has the same birthday as me, so happy birthday, Valerie.
And happy birthday, Jordan.
Happy birthday, me.
Jordan's birthday is on the 5th, so happy birthday, Jordan. Woo!
It's coming.
Yay, 30. Woohoo!
Oh my God.
Fun fact about this podcast, all of our birthdays are in March.
Oh my God.
Really?
Are you a Pisces?
Yes!
March Pisces!
Yes! Woo!
Damn it, I am the March Aries.
You missed the boat.
Hannah's birthday is next, and then mine at the end of March. But all March birthdays on this podcast.
Woohoo! I didn't know that your birthday was in March.
Yeah, it's the 17th.
That's awesome.
March 17th.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to all the March birthdays out there.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
my girl Val from work.
Well, anyone that sends spooky fan stories, if you want to send your birthday as well, we can also give you a shout out for that. This episode is very interesting. We've talked about this subject a little bit, but haven't had a whole podcast episode about it. This episode ventures into the eerie realm of pets and creatures that have crossed over, yet refuse to leave the earthly domains they once roamed. From the spectral howls that pierce the stillness of the night, to the phantom paws that pad rapidly across the floor, we uncover the haunting not by humans, but by animals. Join us as we explore the most chilling locations that are forever marked by the presence of animal ghosts. I know I've mentioned the first ever episode of Ghost Encounters before at the Candle Shop of the Poconos, but this plays into this episode yet again because that place is haunted by the spirits of monkeys. Monkeys that underwent scientific experiments and things like that, because if you've listened to the podcast, remember the doctor that owned the house that this candle shop is in, Dr. Fisher. He performed medical experiments and things on monkeys in the basement.
It was like for smallpox vaccine or something?
Yeah, smallpox and yellow fever.
There we go.
Not sure how that works, why you need monkeys. I don't know if they were test subjects or something. I remember the owner said something about extracting serum from their neck, and there's like a guillotine in the wall, there's holding cages, but they actually do see and hear the spirits of monkeys. Like, I remember she was talking about, she was on a ladder one night, putting away candles up on a top shelf, and all of a sudden she heard the pitter-patter of little feet running across the floor, and all the dust kicked up, and she ran out, and it was like monkey paws, like just patting around and running around the entire house. And
That's spooky.
Monkeys, like, I hate to be like, I don't know, I hate to pull like a Joe Rogan kind of thing, because Joe Rogan's always talking about like monkeys ripping dicks off and shit.
Oh my
But
God.
I think monkeys are kind of scary. They're kind of scary and weird.
My family and I, we were at the Cape May Zoo, which is free. They just want donations, but it's all volunteers. It is a lovely, fantastic zoo. It's huge. They have everything from giraffes and buffalo to lions and a reptile exhibit. It's really good. But we were looking at the orangutans. And
Oh my God.
I love orangutans.
They break my
they
heart.
have like an
they
inside
could hurt you.
/ outside exhibit, if you will. I hate to call it exhibit, but that's kind of what it is. The animals are there for show. And the inside one like has a huge glass panel, so you can see them inside. And they also have their gym and jungle gym and stuff outside.
Enrichment.
Well, this one was very upset.
Oh no.
And my sister, Victoria... Hi, Victoria. She got a little too close to the glass, and this monkey swung up and boom, hit the glass right at her face. Like it was terrifying.
Oh, no.
My pants. I'd
Yeah.
be very scared of monkeys.
But yeah, and monkey ghosts, that's got to be kind of scary.
Well, I think that if when the like monkey stuff happened at the candle shop, back in the day, like super, super long ago, they probably thought that like monkeys and other species of monkeys are super closely related to humans.
Correct.
Which later they found out that we're not exactly super, super closely related to monkeys. So that's why we do like dogs, mice, and stuff now. So maybe that's why they're monkeys that were used instead of other
That makes a lot
animals.
more sense. Yeah, but how does a
out
doctor in the Poconos get shipments of monkeys?
Because he's a doctor, he does what he wants.
That's still crazy to think about. In like the 1800s.
Yeah.
And I remember on that investigation, I got like a weird hissing sound. And I have cats. I've always had cats. Jordan, you've had cats.
Yeah.
I've heard cats hissing, but the hiss that we got was not definitely wasn't a cat, and there was no cats there. Like, it's a candle shop. They don't have animals roaming around. So I at the time, I was like, do monkeys hiss? And I listened to a bunch of videos on YouTube and stuff, and they do hiss, and it sounded exactly the same as the EVP that I got. It's a very weird kind of hiss.
Creepy.
Yeah, monkeys make weird sounds.
Yeah.
They're freaky. Monkeys freak me out.
Now I know what you're scared of in the animal world and what you're scared of in the animal world.
Dude, it is endless.
Jellyfish
I'm
and
terrified
monkeys.
of jellyfish. Hannah's terrified of monkeys.
Horses.
I don't like
Parrots.
horses either. Horses are freaky. First off, horses are massive. Their
They're so
eyeballs
big.
are the size of my fucking face, and you never know what they're thinking. They just bite you, or they just kick you.
Yeah,
There's
they
no
do.
warning. There's no warning. There's no nothing. They're just like, boom, you're down.
It's
you're dead.
like, yeah, you can't read a horse.
No.
There is nothing but madness behind those
Not unless
eyes.
you're like a horse
Nothing but
person.
madness.
Not unless you're actually a person that deals with horses. And I'm so sorry. I don't mean to be insensitive, but they freak me out.
Well, anyway, back to monkeys. Sorry, Hannah. I wanted to tie in monkeys since one of the first ever investigations I did had, spirit monkeys there. So I wanted to look up, was there another place haunted by monkeys or an ape or anything like that? And I found the Athelhampton House ghost monkey.
Oh my god.
This is going to be pure terror for Hannah.
It's actually pretty sad. I'm going to warn you. It's a little sad.
I like with the orangutans too. Like they just look so human and they just look so sad and they just look like sad old men and it makes me sad.
They do.
But continue. I'm sorry.
Let's hope that Jane Goodall never listens to this podcast. She hears us talking shit on monkeys.
Well, nestled in the heart of Dorset, England, lies Athelhampton House, a stately manor whose ancient stones harbor more than just history. They whisper secrets of a spectral presence that chills the marrow of those who dare listen. Among the many spirits that haunt its vulnerable halls, none is as peculiar or unsettling as the ghost of a monkey. The story dates back centuries to a time when exotic pets were a symbol of wealth and status among the nobility. It's said that one of Athelhampton's former owners, a man of eccentric tastes, kept a pet monkey. This creature was more than a companion than a pet. It roamed the house freely, a silent witness to the secrets and sorrows of its human counterparts. This monkey wasn't just a thing. It was literally one of the family's beloved pets.
It could be anywhere.
Oh, so it's like having, your little chihuahua around, but instead you have your pet monkey.
Yeah, so you had a pet monkey, just roaming the halls,
Okay.
hanging out with them.
Like, what if you
That's
go to
my
piss in the
actual
middle of the
nightmare.
night and then you look down the hallway and the monkey's just like, bitch, what you doing out here?
Oh my god, you're taking a piss and like your business is all out and the monkey is in the shower behind the shower curtain. Just that was a monkey scream, not a me scream.
We always take it a step too far.
How many podcast episodes are we going to talk about wieners?
All of them. I didn't say wiener, I said business.
But you're talking about a monkey ripping off someone's dick.
Okay.
We got cocks up, cold wieners, monkey ripping off dicks.
This is that podcast.
Sorry for all of our listeners.
Well, it's nice to have that bit of humor before it gets sad.
Oh, okay.
No.
The Martins were devout Catholics and lived during a time when religious affiliations dictated matters of the heart as much as they did one's soul. Tragedy struck when one of Sir William's daughters fell in love with a non-Catholic.
Oh, no.
A Protestant.
A union strictly forbidden by her faith and family.
I'm so sorry, because every time you read, Hannah makes a backstory. Like, she's like, oh no, a Protestant.
A Protestant.
I find it so hard most times to not laugh. I'm sorry, okay.
I'm sorry too. I'm shutting up forever now.
It's really funny because she was like deeply offended.
I'm literally not
Scandalous.
She made it sound so realistic.
No, it's just a dumb rule and it makes me upset.
All right. Now, tragedy struck when one of Sir William's daughters fell in love with a non-Catholic. A union strictly forbidden by her faith and family. Athelhampton, just like many ancient homes, concealed secrets within its walls, including a hidden room behind its panels. It was here that Sir William's daughter sought refuge one day, perhaps to steal moments with her forbidden love, or to contemplate the dire choices before her. Unknown to her, the family's beloved monkey, ever curious and watchful, slipped into the secret chamber alongside her.
Oh no.
When the daughter departed, the monkey remained trapped behind the wooden panels. despite its efforts to escape, signified by the desperate scratching that can still be heard to this day. The monkey met a sorrowful end, likely succumbing to starvation in its concealed prison.
That's so sad.
No, that is a bummer. He was like a nice monkey.
Well, if it was their trusted companion, why didn't it look for it? Like, why didn't they look for it?
I'm sure they did, but it was in the secret room behind the wall, and who knows what happened after she left that room.
Her stupid bitch ass should have been like, yeah,
she was
okay,
too
I have a
focused
secret
on
room.
She was too focused on marrying.
The Protestant.
He may have been Protestant. She was too focused on marrying her.
That's annoying.
Her love.
That is annoying.
And
you gotta care about your monkey brother.
Yeah.
Poor monkey.
Well, over the centuries, residents and visitors alike have reported eerie occurrences within the walls of the Athelhampton house. Soft thudding sounds echoing through the empty corridors, like the soft pat of a non-human hand, searching, always searching. Drafts sweep through closed rooms, carrying with them the faint, undeniable scent of fur. But the most haunting of all is the ghostly scratching of the monkey, forever trying to escape its wooden tomb. Visitors and staff report hearing the eerie sound emanating from the walls, a spectral reminder of the beloved pet's tragic fate.
Poor monkey. I feel so
Yeah,
bad
that's a
for the
bummer.
monkey.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's really sad.
Yeah.
But people keep hearing like this patting sound like throughout the halls, like it's searching, trying to find a way out, and the scratching at the wooden panels. That's so terrible.
Yeah,
terrifying.
it's like actually
Terrible.
fingernails too.
Yeah,
actually.
It's sad and it's also scary as shit. Because
Yeah.
I would
both.
literally be like,
Absolutely. Well, that was a very sad story.
Sad
Yeah,
beginning
that's a bummer.
story.
Yeah. Hannah, you're next.
Oh no, it only gets weird from here on out, you guys.
Of course it does.
Great.
I would expect nothing less.
Hannah brought the weird one. Okay.
You asked me, you're like, can I do one really weird story that I'm going to get really in depth with instead of picking two? I'm like, yeah, sure, do whatever you want. But
yeah, pop off, Hannah. It's fine.
I was not ready for this.
I don't think anybody was ready for this because this is the story of Jeff the Talking Mongoose.
What the fuck? Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's literally the appropriate response.
Okay.
Because what the fuck?
And Jeff is spelled G-E-F.
Yes, G-E-F.
So if anyone wants to look it up, that's
how
Jeff.
that's how you spell it. I read this story for the first time a number of years ago when I bought this comprehensive anthology of ghost stories, and I don't remember who wrote the book, and I don't remember what the book was called, but I remember that the cover was purple, and it had a picture of the Wild Hunt on it, and I lost the book when I moved out of my parents' house, so I haven't seen it in probably like 7 or 8 years. But if this book sounds familiar to anybody, like, I'm not going to tell you there's a free shirt in it for you, but I will definitely buy you a shirt if you can tell me the title of this book or who wrote this book.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Okay, so if anyone can tell Hannah the title of that book, she's going to pay for it, and we're going to ship out a Ghost Encounter shirt.
Yeah, I'll buy you a shirt. I don't give a fuck, man.
It'll be a Ghost Encounters podcast shirt.
Yep, shirt that you want it. In your appropriate size.
Contest, competition on.
Yes, let's do it.
First person.
Tell me my book. Tell me what this book was. You might be right. I don't know. I forget. My brain is a sieve. Okay. Recently, Amazon Prime released a movie called Nandor Fodor and the Talking Mongoose based on the story of Jeff.
Oh.
And this was like... I started hearing like a tiny little bit of buzz about this, and I was really excited, partly because I love Jeff, and partly because my old man crush, Neil Gaiman.
Oh my god, Neil Gaiman.
Again! Yes.
2 top things in Hannah's head every single day of her life. Well, 3. Okay. You got Stephen King.
Yes.
Neil Gaiman.
Yes.
And Mothman Shiny Axe.
Mothman Shiny Axe.
Yes, absolutely. So he does the voice for Jeff the Mongoose.
Oh, he actually does the voice.
Yeah,
of
he
Jeff.
does.
Okay,
He does.
I like
It's very charming. It's a weird movie. I loved it. I watched it probably 3 or 4 times since it came out.
Oh wow.
And I've tried to get CJ to watch it with me like 3 or 4 times since it came out, and he has fallen asleep every single time. So it might be the movie. I might just love it for no reason, or maybe it's great. Maybe you'll love it. You should definitely check it out. Yeah, the movie's about death and the immortality of weird stories at the core. But then again, I might be wrong. You should watch it and tell me. I won't give you a shirt for that, though. Anyway, Story of Jeff takes place in a location called Cashin's Gap on the Isle of Man, which is a remote little island in the Irish Sea between England and Ireland. The whole island is about 221 square miles and is home to about 85,000 people, according to...
small.
Yeah, it's, oh my god, it's an itty-bitty little thing. The flag is, I don't know if you've ever seen the Manx flag, but it's the one with, like, the triangle made of 3 legs on it. Which, that's probably, like, a bad way to describe it. But there's 3 legs. It's the flag is red, the legs are gold, and they're kind of emanating out in a sort of triangular-ish shape from the midpoint.
Interesting.
Google it. Because I'm describing it very poorly. And people from the Isle of Man refer to themselves as Manx. As, you know, like, we're American, they're Manx.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool, too. Jeff's story begins in 1931, kind of at the turn of the century, and certainly during the golden age of psychic research and practical ghost hunting. Jeff was investigated by several of the best-known paranormal investigators of the time. Jeff and these investigations were very well publicized by the British tabloid press. This whole area is super interesting to me personally, partly because, like, we're still out here doing the same shit in 2024. And there's something very human about that to me, and, like, the unknown, the aspect of the unknown, and, like, what happens to the human soul, and if we can find that out at all, you know? The interesting thing about Jeff and all of this is that he kind of doesn't fit neatly anywhere. It's just a super weird story. So Jeff was first discovered, or came about, or appeared as...
Sure.
You know, whatever Jeff does. Jeff appears on a farm owned by the Irving family, James Irving, Margaret, his wife, and their young daughter, Voirrey. James Irving had the first encounter with Jeff. One evening in September 1931, a series of weird tapping sound from the attic. This tapping then turns into the bark of a dog, spitting like a cat, and growling, which was then followed by gurgles that sounded like a baby learning to speak.
That is so odd.
Sounds like
It
rabies.
literally went from the most basic form of communication and then through more developed, and then all of a sudden to almost a baby trying to talk.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, so, like, it just escalated quickly and bizarrely from literally the get-go. This occurred primarily at night. Like, all of these noises occurred primarily at night, and it was keeping the family up. So James, after, you know, general, like, poking around to see what was going on, he set traps, he set poisons, and he even started shooting at the place where he thought the sounds were emanating from with a gun.
He's like, he had enough. He's like, let me sleep, damn it.
Yeah, I just want to go to bed.
I'm just picturing a dude just firing a rifle into the ceiling.
Yeah, honestly. After many attempts to catch or kill the creature all failed, it was not successful. James decided that he would try making peace with this, which he, I guess off the bat, assumed to be some kind of creature or entity. He decided that he would teach it some random words of English, kind of like one would teach a parrot.
Okay.
Jeff maintains, because Jeff does speak eventually, he maintains that for the entirety of his existence, he was able to understand everything that was said to him, but he could not properly speak himself until James Irving taught him English, which he learned through repetition. But he really learned to speak and express himself as Voirrey then began to teach him nursery rhymes, which he would repeat also, which, like, if you're apples to apples with, I almost said tomatoes. That makes no fucking sense.
Tomato potato.
Yeah. If you're going apples to apples with a parrot, like, it would be a lot for a parrot to know a whole nursery rhyme.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
According to paranormal investigator Harry Price, this is what Jeff sounded like. His speaking voice was about 2 octaves above that of an average human speaking voice, clear and distinct. So it was easy to understand Jeff, I suppose. He had like a little piping voice. Yeah, another thing that I really love about this case is that there are so many paranormal investigators involved, and so many of them were like of a scientific bent.
Right.
You know, they were trying to like recreate and prove and show people that this very, very weird thing exists.
Yeah, and at a time where technology was not great, so even if someone had some kind of speaker, like nothing's wireless. Like you'd find wires, like if you had a microphone, you'd have to find a wire leading to like a device to emanate the sound.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, the technology wasn't great, so like back then, like stuff crackled and had that tone, that like old timey, radio tone
like,
that you
like
hear.
It's coming from 2 miles away out of a string of tin cans.
Yeah, exactly,
you know?
exactly. So you would be able to hear them, like, oh, that's coming out of a radio or device. But
so,
if they're hearing a clear, distinct human voice that's like right there, then that's pretty wild.
Super interesting. As soon as he was able, Jeff introduced himself as the ghost of a mongoose born in New Delhi, India in 1852, and he was 83 years old, which is super impressive for a mongoose because mongooses typically live 7 to 12 years. So 83 is impressive. Honestly, that's impressive for a person.
Seriously.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
I wish you guys could see Justin's face right now. Like, what the fuck?
I'm thinking.
Jeff has also described himself as an earthbound spirit, a ghost in the form of a mongoose, an extra clever mongoose, and the 8th wonder of the world.
He's calling himself the 8th wonder of the world.
Jeff really likes Jeff. Jeff has said, "I am a freak. I have hands and I have feet. If you were to see me, you would faint. You would be petrified, mummified, turned into stone or a pillar of salt."
So now we're getting to Medusa stuff here, if you look at it.
Yeah, or like Lot's wife in the Bible.
Yeah, this is crazy.
This may all be slightly overblown, but if something started speaking to me like that out of a hole in the walls of my apartment, I would probably pee myself and cry. Literally, I would. How do you explain this? He says he has hands and feet, right? So I'm picturing like little human hands and little human feet on his little furry mongoose nubbin legs.
Mongoose human hybrid.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys ever saw Adventure Time, but have you guys? There's a bit with a thing that they call freak deer. No?
I don't watch it.
So it's like a regular deer, right? And it's like suddenly it steps up on its 2 hind legs and it pulls off its hooves, and it, like you take the cap off a Sharpie, it's like, and then it wiggles its fingers, and it's really it's very disconcerting. But that's how I like to think of Jeff. Jeff basically becomes kind of a freakish member of the Irving family. He's living in the walls, and he's calling out silly little things to the family members, and he's just kind of a combination of being kind of like a little bit puckish and also helping the Irvings out. The Irvings made a variety of claims about Jeff. They would leave him food, such as cookies, chocolate, and bananas in a little dish suspended from the ceiling, which Jeff would plunder when no one was looking. He would keep the home free of mice, preferring to chase them away instead of killing them, although he would occasionally kill small game, such as rabbits, for the Irvings to eat, although he would insist upon never hunting rabbits out of season. If the family went to bed with the fire still left on, Jeff would come out of the walls and turn the stove off. Jeff would frequently act as an alarm clock. If one of the Irvings slept late, they'd get a wake-up call from Jeff. He would alert the family if an unfamiliar dog or an unknown guest was approaching the farm. And he was known to accompany the Irvings to the market in town, and while they could not see him, he was known to chat incessantly from within the hedge that ran along the road.
That's funny.
Town. Isn't it? He would just just be saying shit at you. It was very cute. That's all delightful. But Jeff, who I have previously described as puckish, also had kind of like the mean streak that you would expect from the weird little guy living in your walls. Right. Like, it's already weird, so of course it's going to get weird. Jeff would absolutely roast the shit out of the Irvings. He would compare James Irving to a Dickens character and tell him he has a head like an onion, which is excellent. I love that. Once, while Margaret was undressing for bed, Jeff would call out each item of clothing as she removed it.
Oh, no.
Which, Jeff, that's creepy. Bro, don't do that. Many of the locals and the visitors to Cashin's Gap reported encounters with Jeff. Like young local boys befriended Jeff and would hang around the Irving's farm. They reported that Jeff would not only bounce a ball back and forth with them from a hole in the attic ceiling, but he would guess heads or tails in a coin toss, and he would threaten to pee on their heads if they tried to cheat him at his coin toss.
I mean, good for you for,
But that's not a reason to pee on a person.
Especially a child.
Yeah.
That's really bad.
There's an R. Kelly joke in there somewhere.
I was gonna say,
sure there is.
Yikes. There are several photos that are purported to be of Jeff with varying levels of believability. Jeff maintains that he was afraid of cameras. He thought that they were traps, that somebody was going to shoot him and stuff him. But they were cameras. Harry Price, upon obtaining a hair sample allegedly from Jeff, had the sample tested and discovered it to just be dog hair, likely from Mona, the Irving sheepdog. Harry Price also had several footprints and some tooth marks in clay that, upon investigation, were not from any known animal, including a mongoose.
Oh.
So nobody knows what the fuck that was. But if Jeff has human hands and feet, like, who knows what the fuck?
Right.
Who knows what that is? Who knows what that would look like in clay? Oh, nonetheless, despite the fact that the little footprints and stuff are probably bullshit, Harry Price maintains to have seen Jeff face to face on 2 occasions and reported that he is of yellowish tinge like a ferret. His tail is long and bushy and tinged with brown. So that's what Jeff looks like. There are several theories that have been purported to what Jeff actually is. Firstly, that Jeff is a poltergeist. This theory supposes Jeff to be the subconscious creation of 13-year-old Voirrey, whose approaching puberty might have triggered like some kind of emotional or psychic force sufficient enough to create this whole like separate chaotic little being. In the manner of like poltergeists. People say that they hang out with teenagers or created by teenage emotions. The thing that you hear before. It was also posited that Jeff came from the subconscious mind of James Irving in like this proto-dissociative identity disorder kind of way.
Interesting.
Which like, you know what? That kind of sounds like a little bit of science there, man. Like you're trying. Secondly, and well, I guess it's thirdly and most likely, it's that Jeff was just a big hoax by the Irvings. There's no particular reason given for this hoax, but it might have just kind of started out as something silly that snowballed and exploded, and then it gained mainstream press attention, and then like they just couldn't stop.
Yeah. What's that thing that people do where they have the little puppets?
Oh, like ventriloquism?
Yeah, like do you think that could be a possibility?
It's coming in there.
Oh, shit, I didn't even know that.
Those who believe Jeff to be a hoax are quick to point to Voirrey as the source of Jeff's voice, as she may or may not have been known to be able to throw her voice and have a talent for ventriloquism.
Interesting, yeah, because just because of how they said like the voice was like higher and everything, and I know that like usually they could like make their voices sound like high pitch if they're like little people with the little wooden things, whatever those things are called.
Marionettes.
Freaky.
Yes, like slappies, all the little slappies. Contemporary media scholar Jeffrey Sconce writes that the most likely explanation for Jeff is that this extra clever mongoose was the imaginary companion created by the Irving's extra clever daughter. I ran out of air. That kind of makes sense to me, because if you're like, if you're a smart kid growing up on this island in the middle of nowhere with like nothing to do, there's no electricity, you don't have a radio, and nobody gets you, you could feasibly create this like special little imaginary friend and show off and get to be special too, because you're bored and lonely.
Yeah.
But that's sad. And I like to think that Jeff was real. For many years, Voirrey wanted to distance herself from Jeff, and until she was 52 years old, she declined all interviews. Yeah, she just didn't want to talk about it. She just like kind of
There's like enough about Jeff.
enough. I want to live my life. After James Irving died, Margaret sold the farm at a loss because it was haunted. Right, that's a bummer.
That is a bummer.
She opted for a quiet life and did not like to speak about Jeff. Finally, in 1972, Voirrey consented to an interview where she was told the story of the new owner of the family's property. Apparently, he had captured a 3-foot-long, black and yellow weasel-type creature with glowing eyes, which clawed and spat and fought him as he beat it to death with a stick.
Oh my
Oh my
god. Did you kill
God.
Jeff?
Well,
Don't kill Jeff!
justice for Jeff. However, when shown a photograph of this dead animal, Voirrey insisted it was not Jeff and looked nothing like him.
Okay.
So, Jeff lives.
Jeff lives on.
Voirrey to her death in 2005 at the age of 72.
Wow, not that long ago.
Not that we have walked the earth at the same time as Voirrey Irving.
Who knew Jeff?
We are very few degrees of separation away from Jeff the
Interesting.
Mongoose. But she, unto her death, she maintained that she had not invented Jeff and would have been perfectly happy if he had not made such a spectacle of her and her family. So basically, Jeff has vanished into the mists, possibly disappeared, possibly run away, and has possibly been stomped to death and gone.
Beat with a stick.
Or beat with a stick, and has, as he always reported to be destined for, to have gone to hell, the land of mists.
Interesting.
So
That's
Jeff,
crazy.
Right? Jeff was a weird little dude.
Yeah.
Jeff was a weird little dude.
I'm here for it. I love Jeff. I just really wanted to talk about Jeff.
Cool.
I was not expecting that.
I wasn't
Really?
either.
Fascinating.
It's a weird story.
Fascinating.
Like it's just just lightning in a bottle.
It was
of a
hard the whole
story.
time to imagine him as a mongoose or a weasel or whatever the fuck
I know. I
he's supposed to
still
be.
picture Jeff as like a
guy.
tiny person.
Yeah, like
like a fucking leprechaun or something. You know?
like a little boy hiding in the attic and just
Making
being a
jokes
dick
and
to everyone.
roasting people and looking at Mrs. Irving as she's undressing. And
Like it all reminds me very much of like Fae lore, you know.
Yeah.
Where, like I describe Jeff as puckish because he reminds me of like a little red cap or something living in the walls and just being kind of like, I don't know, irreverent and a little bit mean and a little bit scary, but like mostly just kind of unaligned. Because it'll also help you out, like fairies that'll help
he
you
was,
out.
You know,
if you,
putting out the fires and making sure everyone was good. And
like
Yeah.
if you leave a saucer of milk out for the fairies, they'll give you a good harvest. But if you don't, they'll really fuck your shit up. So it really, Jeff like defies all explanation.
yeah,
And
it was a very weird. Like if someone were to make this up, why go through all the trouble about telling a story about how you had to teach it English? Like why would you just say it spoken?
he already knew.
You know?
Yeah.
Like the fact that it went through like tapping and then to like animal type sounds and then gurgling and
especially because
baby
of the time
sounds
frame.
and-
Like the time frame of everything, it's just like you don't want to like lose money on your house selling and all that other shit that it led up to. Like you knew that was going to be the outcome in 1930.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just feels like why would they spin that? Like
Yeah.
it's
Lure
such a
no
strange story. I honestly don't know what to make of it.
Me
I've
neither.
never heard anything like that before.
You should watch the movie on Amazon.
I think I
Prime.
have to.
And,
now.
yeah, tell me if you hated it and CJ was right to fall asleep.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break. No, we're not gonna watch the movie right now. It's gonna be a short break, but we'll be right back with some more Animal Ghosts. This episode is brought to you by The Colony Meadery. If you haven't tried mead yet, it's alcohol made for money. It's all natural, totally gluten-free, and delicious. Colony Meadery is one of the best meaderies in the world, and it's located in Pennsylvania's Lehigh Valley. Stop in and try a flight of meads. Grab some bottles or cans to go, and experience some of the best booze in the world. They have flavors ranging from tart and quaffable lemon laws and Wu-Tang Crayon to sweet cinnamon vanilla series of tubes, and even sweet heat with their mango habanero. Learn more at colonymeadery.com. Speaking of mead, Ghost Encounters and Colony Meadery did a collab, and we came out with a caramel apple mead called Spooky to the Core. It's scary how delicious this mead is. Grab some today and haunt your taste buds. Ghost Encounters is sponsored by Phoenix Fire Media. Elevate your business with their digital marketing strategies, including their multi-award-winning social media marketing, photography, and video production. Phoenix Fire Media, igniting success through creative excellence. Visit phoenixfiremedia.com. If you're enjoying the Ghost Encounters podcast, hit subscribe and give us 5 stars. To watch full episodes of the Ghost Encounters show, visit ghost-encounters.com. And don't forget, when you're on our website, click on the Spooky Shop for all your Ghost Encounters spooky swag. To stay up to date with Ghost Encounters, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Ghost Encounters PA. To send spooky fan stories, email GhostEncountersStories@gmail.com or message us on social. Do you want ad-free episodes of Ghost Encounters podcast, plus bonus episodes, extra content, and much more? Then you should head to Patreon and be a spooky VIP. Go to patreon.com/Ghost Encounters podcast and be haunted from all the benefits with the spooky VIP membership. And we are back. Jordan, you're up next. Where did you research first for animal hauntings?
I chose the Tower of London as my first topic. I listened to Parcast Haunted Places that they canceled, and I was like super obsessed with it. And this was one that really stuck out to me because of the animal ghost that's in it.
Cool. And one wouldn't think Tower of London animal ghosts.
Yeah, considering
you know?
It's haunted by a bajillion people ghosts.
Yeah, it's like Anne Boleyn.
Yeah, oh my gosh, the list is like, there's like 13, like
crazy.
off the top of your head that you could think of right now.
Were there, is that the one where there's the 2 little boys who were like found walled in under the stairs?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because
okay.
they conveniently went missing.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they were like considered, they were supposed to be next in line for the throne, and then they were considered bastard children, like an illegitimate child of somebody, and then they
both went missing.
Yep. And then they found the skeletons of them later. But we should probably do a full episode of the Tower of London because it's pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, we could do a whole like haunted
we
London
could do
episode.
All of us take a part of it because it's so
There's
haunted.
13 of them.
We got multiple friends in London now, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Oh my god, the tie-in.
Yeah.
The Tower of London is a historical castle built on the River Thames in the city's center. It was founded in 1066 as a part of the Norman conquest of England. Like Hannah said a little bit ago before we were recording, William the Conqueror came in and was just like, haha, I need to build a fortress.
Yeah.
And like they kept building off of it, and it is what it is today.
And that's the Tower of London?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, kick ass.
Yeah. With the past being filled with public executions, murders, imprisonment, and treason, it's not hard to understand why this place is so damn haunted. Most of the haunts are those who suffered untimely deaths, but strangely enough, there are even fair share of animal hauntings to talk about. There are so many ghosts that haunt this place. It, like I said, we should discuss it in another episode,
right.
Just because like it's so detailed. They have so many, because it's all documented, you know, like with Henry VIII, how many fucking wives he had, all of them were freaking executed there, some terribly executed, not even like nicely. You could tell who he liked and who he didn't like.
Like who got the sharp axe
versus
who got the dull one.
Exactly, yeah.
Fuck. Brutal, man.
To help give a bit of context to the story, we know that all types of exotic animals were imprisoned in the Tower of London during the Tudor times. Like you said before, that like people with high nobility had...
Yeah, they wanted exotic animals. And
like it was,
menageries.
Here's my wealth, bitches. I got a fucking golden ox over here, or whatever the fuck they had.
Yeah, I got a fucking tiger and enough money to keep it alive.
So at one point, the Tower of London was a bit like a modern zoo. A number of animals that have been there and kept there are leopards, polar bears, jackals, tigers, like you just said, pumas, elephants, monkeys, and there have also been recordings of roars of long-lost lions, which is really creepy, which echo through the tower at night, and even horses, which gallop along the stones.
Imagine hearing
but
that.
are never seen.
Imagine hearing that.
Spoopy.
Imagine hearing a fucking elephant right by your ear in the Tower of London.
Yeah, because like at one point they just kept getting all of these animals in there that they actually had to start donating the animals that these like people were getting, these kings and stuff were getting.
Right.
And like basically at one point they were just like, yeah, we can't keep this shit here anymore. Like, we gotta open a zoo just for these animals.
Were they like just running around like
they
loose,
had certain spots and stuff like that, and I think that they had like an open area for like obviously an elephant to be in.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was kind of reading, and they kind of made it seem like a zoo inside.
Right. Yeah.
Like literally caged off sections for certain things and everything like that. So some sources say that a grizzly bear, and others say that it's a black bear that appears around the jewel room. So I heard there's two different types of bears. A guard at the tower claimed a ghostly bear charged him.
Oh, that's cool.
Though the guard attempted to bayonet the animal, which kept coming at him, you know, that would be really scary if you have a big ass fucking fake grizzly bear coming at you.
Yeah, dude.
Apparently the sword went right through the animal and then it vanished into thin air.
Wow. It was like poof.
Yeah. The guard was carried away senseless to his quarters. Some sources say that he was like laughing and like screaming, and he was crying but laughing and like going literally nuts. Like he literally lost his mind.
Feels
and
good, man.
he wound up dying like 1 to 2 days later after this incident.
Oh no!
Yeah. This tale has been told and retold a million times over the years, and many now say the bear was no less than the devil himself in disguise.
Of course, they would say that.
Pulling the man to the underworld with him. Yeah.
That's crazy.
That visual is really cool.
Yeah, I like that.
Crazy. Super scary. I would be so scared of a big, because like black bears aren't really that big. They're still big, but like a fucking grizzly bear, like
huge.
If we're talking about like them standing up, they can be pretty damn tall.
And polar bears are huge too.
Yeah.
Bears are big.
Yeah, so regardless of what kind of bear it is, it's still fucking scary.
It's bigger than me. Even a
All
black
right,
bear.
Hannah, what are you choosing? Horse or bear?
No!
Horse.
Okay.
Horse, hands down, horse scares me more.
I feel like horses are out for revenge, so I'm gonna pick the bear. A bear, I can be like, "Hey, bear!" A horse, you can't say shit, man. He's out for revenge.
Yeah, like
He's
black
just-
bears can be skittish. Like you can yell at them and they'll run away. Grizzly bears, it's hit or miss. Sometimes polar bear, they'll just kill you.
But a horse will charge you down as repayment for all of its ancestors that died in every single human war.
The scariest thing
We deserve it.
is that polar bears and bears in general, they have to run towards you to get you, because you never just go up to a fucking polar bear. You never just go up to a grizzly bear. Horses, you're just like, yeah, it's so pretty, and then all of a sudden you're dead.
Bam!
You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Horsed to death.
Horse to death.
Thinking about the bears, all I can think about is from Without a Paddle. Get in the fetal position. Abort the fetal position.
No!
It thinks Thanos its cub.
Eat
You have to bite it. Bite the squirrel.
So funny.
Ghost bears. I like that.
Ghost bears. Yes.
That's crazy. That's terrifying, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What next did you do?
Yeah, the next one I picked was the Pet Cemetery at the Stanley Hotel.
I never knew there was a pet cemetery at the Stanley Hotel.
I didn't either, because I just assumed that it was two separate things made up by Stephen King.
Yeah, this is like the Stephen King crossover to end all crossovers.
Yeah. So for you horror fans out there, for people who don't know, actually, the Stanley Hotel in Colorado is what Stephen King's The Shining is based off of. He did stay there and experienced a couple things. And did he write some of it while he was there, or just experience
I think he
stuff?
did write some stuff while he was there, but most
Maggie was just there not too long ago.
Oh, really?
Stayed at the Stanley Hotel,
so cool.
stayed in his room.
Oh,
and
that's so cool.
I forget if she said she watched or read The Shining in the room, and it got a little too freaky. And she, like,
Yeah, that would
couldn't do
freak
it.
me out,
Yeah.
definitely.
The Shining is a really, really good book.
She has pictures of her in the creepy bathtub with the old lady comes
Yeah,
out.
I hate
think I
that.
saw
I hate
those.
that so much. So starting this story, moving a cemetery on the grounds from one location to another seems like an obvious mistake, since the deceased often don't take kindly to disturbances, as we know. But that's exactly what the Stanley Hotel in Colorado chose to do with a pet cemetery. The hotel is best known, like we said, the hotel of Stephen King's The Shining. The Stanley Hotel is a perfect destination for ghost hunters seeking stories that collaborate with the vacation spot and the haunted reputation.
Yeah.
There is a lot to explore within the 140-room lodge that I didn't know was that big.
Oh, it's huge.
Like, I had to look up pictures and everything, because
Yeah.
I don't know why I just didn't think it was massive.
We should do
I
a
thought that
haunted
was-
hotels episode and like
That's a good
go
idea.
in
Yeah,
depth
I'll
on
do
the
one.
Stanley Hotel.
Because there's a shit. I think Mizpah Hotel is ranked number 1 as most
Yeah.
haunted hotels in the world.
Crazy.
the pet cemetery tends to get overlooked because of how big the hotel is that we were just talking about.
Yeah.
But the ghosts of the animals buried in the cemetery can find their way into the hotel. Cassie is the ghost of a golden retriever with the fondness for finding treats and fetching newspapers.
Oh, it's so cute.
There is also a fluffy white cat who has been known to wander the halls and enter guest rooms. Could you imagine you see this fluffy big ass cat? You're just like,
I'd be really
what
stoked
the
on
fuck?
that, honestly. Like, ooh, bring me the kitty.
I don't know if you're going to save that for my next story.
Oh,
jeez.
Yeah.
Here we
Anyway.
go.
Both seem to be a friendly type, which is nice, indicating a lack of resentment for the relocation of their final resting place. But that's not to say that every pet buried in the cemetery is as understanding of the decision to construct a wedding pavilion atop of their original grave.
Oh, you don't do that.
As many of the eerie occurrences at the Stanley Hotel could just as easily be the work of spectral animals, but a local psychic interviewed at the time of this move said that it's possible that bothering the dead may have inadvertently opened a pathway for additional spirits to return to the world of the living.
Oh, shit.
So with people and animals, maybe they're just hanging out. Maybe like somebody that died there is like, hey, my golden retriever Cassie, who I love so much, I need her to come in. Boom.
Oh.
Yeah.
Owner and golden retriever together in death.
Aw.
Aw.
Which is kind of a
Wow.
cutesy story for
Yeah,
The
it
Shining.
kinda
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, for what the Stanley Hotel is, that's actually a pretty cutesy story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a short little one.
I like that. I did
I do
not
too.
know that a pet cemetery existed at the Stanley Hotel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me neither.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
We'll have to go visit.
Dude,
Pay our respects to the animals
yes.
and investigate the Stanley Hotel.
I mean, it's easy, like, if you think about it, it's easy to say, like, weird pitter-patter could be an animal. Like, you know, a ghostly animal.
Yeah.
If you can't see one. Like me, I always think everything's squirrels. But, like, if you hear, like, dogs have a very weird walk, and you could definitely tell it's a dog by their nails and stuff scratching.
Yeah,
So, like, if you hear that and you don't see a damn dog, that could
Yeah.
be a little ghost puppy.
exactly.
Oh.
Well, moving on and going with the cats, there is a story of a demonic cat of the White House.
Oh, that's
I
funny.
love
That's
this.
what
Yes.
you said.
In D.C., our White House, there is a story of a ghost demonic cat.
I don't think I've ever heard of this one.
I didn't either. In the shadowed corridors of Washington, D.C.'s most iconic building is the chilling legend that whispers of a spectral feline known only as the Demon Cat. This malevolent apparition, shrouded in mystery, emerges from the darkness to stalk the halls of power, its presence an omen of doom.
Oh, great.
Oh, boy.
The tale took root in 1898, Washington Post article describing a creature that morphs from a common house cat into a monstrous beast towering like an elephant over those who it chooses to terrify.
I like that. I wish I could do
Crazy. So this thing, it just looks like, oh, look at it, it's a normal little house cat. And then it grows and grows and grows until this thing is just this monstrous elephant-sized cat coming for you.
That is like the perfect idea for a book.
I think that's a Goosebumps thing.
Goosebumps.
Wasn't there like a
Oh.
book of like weird like laboratory rats and they were like huge?
I don't know.
vaguely remember a cover.
I wasn't a Goosebumps kid.
I didn't read until I got older.
Well,
I was outside playing in the dirt.
vaguely remember that. The first sighting of this cat was in the depths of the United States Capitol during the turmoil of 1862 amidst the Civil War's chaos. This apparition haunted the building's basement, which was repurposed at the time as a bakery for the troops.
Interesting.
Witnesses spoke of a guard, driven to desperation, firing his gun at the ghostly feline, only to see it vanish into the ether. So almost like your bear.
Yeah.
This bear is running at this dude, he pierces it with the bayonet, and
Yeah.
it just evaporates. This dude
Same
is
thing.
seeing this gigantic fucking cat coming at him. He shoots at it,
Very American.
and gone.
I don't know what's scarier, the demon cat or the fucking big ass grizzly bear. Because I think both are equally scary.
Both are anything that big coming at you
Yeah,
is just
seriously.
like made of regrets.
Yeah. But since then, the demon cat has favored the capital's underbelly for its spectral hauntings, shrouded in mystery with its shifting disguise from a first tabby and into a giant, shadowy black cat.
I love it.
Me too. I actually
Yeah,
crazy.
I think that's really cool. I like
Crazy.
this.
And they also, some people are like, oh, DC, demon cat. And that's like weird tie to like
Yeah, an
DC
interesting
and
little
the cat.
conflict.
Yeah.
That's
there.
creepy.
Right?
Spooky.
In
Spooky is right.
1935, further tales emerged with observers claiming its eyes burned with an unholy light, fierce as the headlights of a fire engine.
Fuck yeah.
That was the exact word someone used. Rational minds sought to like mundane explanations, noting the Capitol's basement once thronged with cats hunting vermin in the dark. Yet the recollections of former Congressman John Dingell recounting his youthful battles with rats. As he said, there was rats as big as house cats.
Holy shit.
Okay.
And this serves to only deepen the enigma, blurring the lines between the physical and the spiritual. So that's why people are like, oh, people just saw a cat because there were cats. But people were seeing a regular cat transform into a gigantic cat.
Mhm.
And now we have this dude who is saying, yeah, there was rats as big as regular cats. Which makes me think like, okay, what size cat is going to take care of cat-sized rats?
Mm.
Yeah.
A giant
exactly.
fucking cat, right?
So maybe the
Big-ass
cat's the
bitch.
good guy all along. You don't know.
Now, remember I said that the presence of this cat is like an omen of doom. Well, its appearance preceded the turmoil of the 1929 stock market crash and in the shadow of JFK's assassination in 1963.
Oh, shit.
So this cat was seen, and all of a sudden the stock market crashed. This cat was seen, and then JFK was assassinated. Well, despite the lack of like good first-hand testimony, its legend woven into the fabric of the executive mansion's own ghostly lore. Like we know other ghosts haunt the White House, but this one is like
Lincoln.
very weird,
Yeah.
you know. This feline specter appearing across the most hallowed halls of the American governance remains a chilling reminder of the unseen forces that may lurk just beyond the veil of reality in the heart of power itself.
I like that animals can be ghosts too.
Yeah, right?
You know, because
I like this.
Yeah, like I love my pet. I love my dog. I love my
Yeah.
pets.
And we had the medium on who talked about like bringing in the spirits of past pets and
Mhm.
things like that. which
When
thought was
I
interesting.
die, my pets better be waiting for me. That's all I know.
Yep.
Oh my
I
God.
want to see that. They're the first people I want to see. And then I'll see my grandparents. And then I'll see my family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll see my family members after I see Pasha. Because my firstborn child
Yeah, bring me my
Well.
puppy.
will be the one I want to see.
Yeah.
Wes is gonna be down in hell, fucking biting the ankles of Alicia. himself. Oh my God, he's so
Pasha's too much
bad.
of a good girl. There's no way
So
my dog's
bad.
going to hell.
I'll
Pasha's
see him
too
when I
good.
get there, man. I'll see him when I get there.
My husky may go to hell, but not my pit bull. My pit bull will be in heaven.
Angel
I will
baby.
wander the afterlife with Aurora
Fuck yeah,
for
man.
eternity.
Fuck yeah, man.
Even if
I
you don't
love her
believe
so
in
much.
heaven or hell, whatever the next.
Yeah, I don't
life
believe in
is.
heaven or hell
I
or
don't
any
know
of that stuff
either.
either. None
I
of us
don't
do,
know what
but
death is like,
whatever.
but all I know is my dog better fucking be there. That's all I know.
Exactly.
Maybe
If
can...
any of you have encountered a animal spirit, let us know. That's pretty cool.
I feel like in the last year we've heard a lot about like animal spirits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we have our investigation that's coming up at Sleepy Cat where
Yeah.
we heard about the cats.
Mhm.
Then we had somebody that reached out to us about a dog.
Mhm.
And then we had the medium that was talking about animals.
Yeah. A lot of animal
And
stuff.
the monkeys.
Yeah.
It's cool. And the monkeys.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, we skipped the spooky fan story section last time because Jordan unfortunately was not here. It just didn't feel right to do the
Yeah.
spooky fan story without
Aw.
Jordan.
Yeah. It's
It didn't
important.
feel right.
sweet.
You started this, so I would love for you to read this next one.
Okie
This is a
dokie.
really cool
Yeah,
story.
we'll go for it.
Let's get into the spooky fan story.
All right, here we go. Hey there, Ghost Encounters podcast crew! Exclamation point, I love the enthusiasm. I just recently picked up the podcast and I have been listening to your episodes all through work. Well, that's
So
very
awesome.
nice. That's
Yeah,
very
I'm
nice.
glad we can
Yes.
help get you through the workday.
Yeah, because work blows.
They really do.
I have always enjoyed and found the paranormal intriguing and fun to learn about. My friends
Yeah.
don't really appreciate the same interests, which is perfectly fine, but listening to your spooky fan story segment got me to decide on sharing some of my experiences, though they aren't long or very exciting, just stuff that has stuck with me.
Don't
Hey,
sell yourself
Any
short.
paranormal story is fun and exciting.
It's
Yeah.
exciting
Doesn't have
for
to be
us.
long. Yeah, it's always exciting.
You're
And
welcome.
I'm so happy that you like this section of the podcast. And you know what? We are friends now. And
Yes.
now you do have friends who love the paranormal. We are your friends.
Welcome, we love you.
I love you so much. Thanks for loving our spooky fan story segment. I just finished listening to the Cursed Objects and Spectral Dreams episode, and they resonated with me.
Oh wow, cool.
Ooh.
Because like that Spectral Dreams one was one that wasn't very paranormal-ish, but people really liked it.
Yeah.
And the Cursed Object ones, thanks to Hannah, was terrifying.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the
Crone
crone
Casket, yeah.
still fucks me up.
Yeah.
And
And that's how we met another fellow podcast friend. Remember,
Oh yeah,
Cash? She did that short little video about the Crone Casket.
That was so good.
And I'm still wanting to plan a collaboration with her to cross a podcast. She is from Mexico. Yeah, so it'll be very interesting.
We have a lot of friends now.
Yeah, love it.
One night I was asleep and I don't remember too much, but at some point in my dream I was in my bed and had turned on my side, and at the edge I could see what looked like my sister when she was a child. Mind you, my sister at the time was in college and not living at home. Well, that's fucking scary.
Problem.
Yikes.
Her eyes had turned red and she just started muttering in some language that I could not understand.
Bigger yikes.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's absolutely terrifying. I tried to move and found myself paralyzed. However, I could still speak. Well, that's nice because in my sleep paralysis, I can't even grumble.
Right.
That scary motherfucker just stares at me the whole time and laughs at me.
Shit.
I'm not an overly religious person, but in the moment I started to pray out loud and ask God for help and told the entity to leave and go away, shouting, "Leave and go away," over and over. I eventually woke up yelling those words, sitting up in a sweat and breathing heavily. I would be doing the same thing. I'd probably be crying. I'd probably be crying.
Yeah.
I'd be freaking
That's
out.
terrifying.
That was the only time I ever woken up like that. In the Spectral Dreams podcast, you guys mentioned hearing something from the actual world in your dream. You talked about the fire alarm thing. Yeah. In the recent past couple months, I would take my breaks during work in my car and nap for 15 minutes. I would set an alarm and just knock right out. That's nice.
Yeah,
Shit,
I
it
can't
takes me,
knock right out. It takes so long to fall asleep.
Like, that's a world record to just fall asleep so fast.
My brain is broken.
I'll eventually hear my alarm and try to wake up and turn the alarm off, but not be able to move at all. Uh-oh, that's not good. You don't want to be late to work.
Yeah.
I'll be coherently thinking to myself, I need to wake up now. Come on. Trying to get my body to respond, but oddly, my eyes rapidly moving side to side while closed. Eventually, I'll get out of it and wake up. Well,
Damn, you're like feeling yourself in REM cycle? That's crazy.
That's how I feel when I take Benadryl.
Really?
That's why I don't take allergy meds like that, like the heavy duty allergy meds. I just actually started a new one because my asthma's been so bad. But Benadryl I will not take because every time I take Benadryl, this stuff happens to me where I'm like sleeping, but I hear still, and like I can't stay awake because I'm so drowsy that I literally feel like I'm hallucinating, which is terrifying. Which it sounds just like what this person went through.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough of me. Getting back to the story.
Sorry, everybody.
I've been suffering from sleep apnea on and off for the past couple of years, and it eventually got to a point where I had to do something about it and get help. Well, that's good because you can't stop breathing in your sleep. Right?
Support.
Yep. I'm doing much better. Oh, well, that's fantastic.
Good.
And actually sleeping now that I've gotten professional help.
Good.
That's definitely
Very
a
good.
good thing. My dad has sleep apnea. He just got a fancy new little...
Like a CPAP?
Yeah, he got a new thing because he can't sleep on his back. So I was talking to him the other day. This is how you know your parents are getting old. When all they do is talk to you about all their fucking health problems. I am partially sure that my experiences were effects of my condition. I just found it wild at how the brain makes you perceive such things and felt it was worth sharing. It definitely
worth
was.
sharing. Yes. Yeah, it was crazy.
And it's kind of cool that he's making his own connections as he's typing this.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I appreciate what you guys are doing, and I love the content. I hope for many more in the future. Stay spooky, wonton soup.
Yay.
I love the name.
I love the Stay Spooky. I love the wonton soup. I just love that
I
we
wanted
have...
to say wonton soup at the beginning, but I wanted to leave it at the end.
I love that Wonton Soup got help with their sleep apps.
Yeah,
Seriously,
it's always a good
that's
idea
scary.
to get help with that.
Yep.
Yeah. They did leave a little disclaimer at the end. They said, P.S. Possible ideas for the future. Talk about spooky urban legend games such as Bloody Mary throughout cultures. Also, I remember growing up hearing about a curse with black pearls. The Hope Diamond story made me think about it.
No, that was your story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my story.
Awesome. They've probably listened to almost all the episodes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's a good fan right there.
Hey, thank you so much for sharing these stories with us. I always find the sleep paralysis ones like very fascinating.
Yeah.
Because I'm fascinated with dreams because I've seen and witnessed some weird shit in my dreams. And I love the stay spooky at the end from everyone. And
Yeah.
this has been so great.
Yeah.
It makes your heart feel all warm and fuzzy. Our black hearts feel warm and fuzzy.
As dark as we are, we do feel warm and fuzzy.
Yes, we do.
I love the idea. So you know what? Next podcast episode, we are going to do spooky urban legends.
Here we go.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Dedicated to wonton soup.
Yes, dedicated to
you.
wonton soup.
Do.
Share the podcast around. And everyone listening, we need some more spooky fan stories, so please write in. No matter how short or if you think they're not worth sharing, they're definitely worth sharing.
And it doesn't even have to be ghostly. It could be anything freaky that you just want to talk about. Or any topics you want us to listen to, we'll give you a shout out about.
Yeah, exactly.
Aliens. Cryptids.
I want aliens so
Dude,
bad!
same. Yeah. Aliens or cryptids also apply.
Yeah,
Dreams.
definitely. Anything applies.
True
And
past life experiences.
Ooh!
what we have heard from all these people is that they love this section of the podcast because it helps them and makes them feel better knowing that other people have had like similar experiences or that other people are willing to share. It's always a nice thing because like we're talking about stories that are throughout history and we do research and stuff, but the stories you guys send to us are personal and something that people don't even know about. So it's just really nice to share that and for other people to hear your story.
And it's nice to hear things about connections.
Yeah, exactly.
Like where you have gone through the same thing a person has gone through, so then you're also not feeling a little crazy.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a
Awesome.
weird life.
Weird life.
Hey, life is weird, man. It really fucking is. You've been saying that since college. Life is weird.
Life is weird, man.
It really is. Oh, man. Well, anyway, again, Spooky Fan Stories, thank you all so much for listening.
We love you.
We love you all very much. We've gotten some recent merch orders, and I'm just so happy that people enjoy the podcast and are ordering merch and are sending in stories and
Yeah, we are
loving what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one person wrote in and wrote that the podcast is like hanging out with a group of friends who have all the spooky tea. Like I love that quote for our
cute.
podcast.
Maybe we should
nice.
make a t-shirt.
Maybe we should.
With a little spooky teacup.
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
that'd be cool.
really cute.
Like a skeleton holding a teacup.
Yep, spooky tea time.
Love it. I'm still waiting on your shirt for
I know,
Mothman's shiny ass.
Dude,
Get it together.
I know.
I have requests for the shiny ass at
To be
work.
fair,
Oh my
Hannah,
God, really?
Hannah
Yeah.
has been busy with her side project
Oh yeah.
of her Coraline style
Button
clay
eye,
dolls
yeah.
that she makes. And
I do.
they're really good.
Yeah.
I see them on Instagram sometimes.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Or
Where
Facebook.
can
I post them
people
Wherever
see
you
them?
post them.
If you want to see them, you can find me on my totally not business personal Instagram page, which is Cabbages and Queens.
So give us a follow, give us a like and a share, rate us. Please give us 5 stars wherever you're listening. But that's all the time we have for today. Stay spooky.
Don't play with the bears.
And if you have a talking mongoose, you may feed it chocolate and bananas.
And bananas.
Very important.
Not just the chocolate.
I'll take a banana.